Everybody right now has dreams, don't they, guys? All right, everybody in the NFL, I have a dream of making it in the NFL. I got a dream of winning a Super Bowl. I got a dream of being in a Pro Bowl. I'm really not into dreams anymore, okay? I'm into fucking nightmares. You guys with me on that?
Mosh pit.
You gotta end somebody's dream. You gotta take their job. You gotta take their heart. Are you guys clear about this NFL shit now? We're not trying to go to the Peach Bowl. We're not trying to go to the Gator Bowl or the Bluebonnet Bowl. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Just win, baby. I love it. You know, I sit in my office and I just shake. I get so excited.
Raider Nation, what's good, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the channel. First off, I want to say I was trying to get this video out yesterday, but I came down with a really bad case of the stomach flu, was rendered absolutely useless all day yesterday. So I apologize for that. I was dying. I really wanted to get the video out, but I couldn't even get out of bed, man. But I'm doing better now, so let's jump into some news before we talk about the Broncos. First piece of news, Alec Ingold is going to play on broken ribs. This dude's a beast, and he's such an important part of this run game. With that power run, he's lead blocking for Jacobs, blowing up the linebackers, making a hole, and that's exactly what happened last Sunday. He, lead blocked for Jacobs, sprung him for a touchdown, and ended up breaking his ribs doing it. So glad to see Alec Ingold playing. I'm kind of concerned because ribs are a painful injury, and he does a lot of mashing, man. So I hope he's okay. I hope he's not in too much pain, and I hope he doesn't aggravate the injury. But I love a dude who will say, hey, look, I'm hurting, I'm banged up, but I'm gonna give it my all. Let's go. So cheers to Alec Ingold, man. I hope you stay healthy, and I hope you go have a good game against the Broncos, man. Let's get this dude a nice little passing reception for a touchdown. How about it? Now, if we're talking offense and we're talking run game, we got to mention Gabe Jackson. And this is something I brought up a couple videos ago. Gabe Jackson has been, instrumental in holding the pieces together on this offensive line. Gabe Jackson and Rodney Hudson have been staples this season, and especially with that right side that's been so shaky with Trent Brown out, Sam Young struggling, Denzel Good having to play at the guard position, can't go over there. So having Gabe Jackson on that right side playing well, it has been a true blessing for the Raiders. And I mentioned this in that same video that we were talking about getting rid of Gabe Jackson, wanting to trade him. And aren't we glad we didn't? I know I am. So big ups to Gabe Jackson. I've mentioned it before on this channel. I used to play offensive line in high school, and I knew that we didn't get no love. So, we show love to the offensive linemen here on this channel. We appreciate the big boys. Cheers to Gabe Jackson. Another guy we got to show some love to is Nelson Agholor. Nelson Agholor is leading the NFL in yards per reception, and he has been an absolute beast with the deep ball. Him and Derek are clicking this year. And for a guy that struggled with drops in Philadelphia, and that's the reason he got let go, he's been money, dude. He's made some good plays. That last catch that he made last week was insane. Having to slow down and catch that thing on the inside shoulder, that's not an easy catch, let me tell you. So shout out to Nelson Agholor, man. I think he's really benefiting from Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is taking a lot of double teams, and it's allowing Agholor to take the one-on-ones, and he's winning. Agholor is sitting at 20.2 yards per reception and is on pace to have the best season of his career. So how huge is it that we went and picked this guy up, gave him another chance? The only bad thing is we got him on a one-year deal, and we're probably gonna have to pay this dude a little bit. But I'm not mad at it, especially with the Tyrell Williams injury, and it's just the way that the whole situation with Tyrell worked out. Gave him all his money the first 2 years, and he was hurt for the first 2 years. We really didn't get to see Tyrell at his all last year, and obviously we don't get to see him at all this year. So with the addition of Nelson Agholor, the Raiders have found a solid deep threat and a solid fix to an injury problem that plagued this Raiders wide receiver core in Tyrell Williams. I did mention Henry Ruggs earlier, making a case that I think he's doing a lot for Nelson Agholor, and that brings me to my next point here, is that I think we're really going to get to see what Henry Ruggs' character is made up of. Look, he's doing a lot for this team, and he's not getting a lot out of it, right? He's getting double teamed a lot. He's opening up so much for these other receivers to make plays. We'll see. Is he the type of guy who gets frustrated that he's not getting the ball, or is he a really good team guy? And, Mayock and Gruden have made it a priority to get good character guys. And by the way, I'm in no way trying to make the point that Henry Ruggs is this type of guy or this type of player. It's just something that came to mind when, we see Nelson Agholor's success, and we see Derek missing Henry on a couple deep balls, and Henry Ruggs, obviously our first pick, a first round receiver, a really good talent, fastest guy in the NFL, and he's not necessarily getting as many touches as you would think he'd be getting. Like I said, is he the kind of guy that gets upset and disgruntled about that, or is he more focused on winning as a team? We're going to find that out, especially if things continue on the road that they're going right now, only seeing less than 1.5 catches a game. I think, eventually that could wear on people. We'll see with Henry Ruggs. I don't think that he's that kind of guy, but like I said, it's just something that came to mind. We've seen receivers put on a show and be upset, but those were guys that had really big personalities most of the time. Henry Ruggs doesn't strike me as that kind of guy, but I thought it was something interesting to talk about. I mean, his stats aren't terrible at all. 10 receptions in 6 games, 220 yards, 22 yards a catch, which, he would be leading the NFL, but he doesn't have enough targets per game to qualify. So we see the potential here for sure. I would like for him to get more touches, 100%. But like I said, he is getting bracketed. He's getting double teamed, and teams aren't going to allow him to beat them deep, which is freeing up one-on-ones for Darren Waller. It's freeing up one-on-ones for Nelson Agholor. Hunter Renfro's open. Everybody benefits if Henry Ruggs draws that double team, and this was one of the reasons that we brought a guy in who has this kind of speed, because you have to show him attention. You can't double team Waller anymore. You gotta take Henry Ruggs because he will beat you down the field. I'm super stoked for this kid going forward, man. Like I said, he's got a ton of potential, and we've seen the flashes already, and we already see the benefit of having him on the field, what that does for other guys. So moving forward, I'm so happy that we got Henry Ruggs instead of CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. I think this was the best pick for the Raiders. Helps open up the run game and helps get the other guys on the offense involved. I can't wait until him and Derek find that connection and are able to hook up on these deep shots that seem to come just about every game. Henry Ruggs gets at least one look. They just got to find a way to connect on those. And I think obviously his stats would look a little bit different if he had caught, it's been 6 or 7 balls that have gone Henry Ruggs' way that haven't fallen for whatever reason. Catch it out of bounds, or Derek overthrows them. Whatever the reason, there's been some missed opportunities with deep balls to Henry Ruggs. I'm sure that'll get cleaned up, and I look forward to that. I went on a bit of a tangent there, so we're going to reel it back in. We got 2 more things to talk about, then we'll look at the Broncos. Cory Littleton is placed on the COVID list. He will not be playing on Sunday. We've talked about Cory Littleton a ton on this channel, and he's been graded as one of the league's worst starting linebackers. Hey, whatever. Whatever. Somebody's got to step up and play in his place. For me, I hope it's Javen White. This Broncos offense isn't great. Let's get the kid out there and get him some reps, and let's see what he's got. It probably won't be him. We'll probably see Raekwon McMillan. But for me personally, at this point in the season, I want to see what the rookie's got, and I think he matches Cory Littleton's style of play a lot more than Raekwon McMillan does, so that to me makes more sense to fill Javen White into Littleton's spot, but we'll see what happens. It's also possible that Nicholas Morrow could just see a lot larger of a role, and maybe we'll see McMillan rotate in, because Morrow is definitely the better pass cover backer out of the 2 of them. But you guys know how I feel about Nicholas Morrow. I'm really on the fence. I don't like him that much, and I'm excited to see what Javen White can do. So look, if Javen White starts and goes out there and struggles, whatever, take him out and put Morrow in there for an increased role, and bring McMillan in to spell Kwiatkowski, and we'll make it work. But I think this could be a good opportunity for a young guy like Javen White to see some playing time. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think should take Cory Littleton's spot in this upcoming game against the Broncos? I know I got some Nicholas Morrow fans on this channel, so I'm sure I'll hear from you guys. And I know I got some guys on here that are really excited to see Javen White like I am, and have kind of been disappointed that we haven't been able to see him. So let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about it. Let's jump into the injury report real quick. We got some good news and we got some bad news. Trayvon Mullen, good news, he's back at practice. He was limited after that hamstring injury last game. Bad news is Colton Miller is still missing practices, so it looks like we might end up seeing Brandon Parker again. But he actually played pretty well, I think, in Sunday's game. I'm more worried about this right side of the offensive line. We have some news on Trent Brown that we'll talk about in just a second. But with Sam Young on that right side, he's been struggling lately. He's been playing hurt. I know that. But he does seem a little bit small for that tackle position, and he's getting bullied. So that's something that we got to worry about. The Broncos have a great edge rusher with Bradley Chubb. Lucky for the Raiders, though, Von Miller is out for the year, so that's one less guy that they have to worry about. I don't know exactly where Bradley Chubb lines up. I don't know if he switches sides. But, I mean, either way, he's going against Brandon Parker or he's going against Sam Young, two backups. So those guys have got to step up and, play out of their minds, because that guy can cause some havoc for sure. Another piece of bad news for the Raiders, Maurice Hurst is looking like he's going to miss this game as well. Arguably the best defensive lineman on this team this year, so that hurts. Let's see if Malik Collins can do some damage and really come out of his shell. Now let's talk about Trent Brown. Obviously, Trent Brown has missed a lot of time this season. He went down with COVID, then he was cleared to play, had the IV mishap that put him in the hospital, and then after that went back on the COVID list for COVID complications. Now we've got news that he's going to miss at least a month with COVID-19 complications. This is gnarly, man. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know if Trent Brown has anything underlying that COVID's really hitting hard for him. We don't really know much, but for him to be missing at least a month with COVID complications is kind of a head scratcher to me, and I get kind of worried about that because, COVID is something that, doesn't really affect a lot of people that much. It's, only really gets to the people who have underlying issues. And, I'm not here to try to speculate on what Trent Brown's going through, but like I said, it kind of does worry me because COVID-19, for the most part, if you're a healthy person, you don't have any really bad underlying health issues, you're usually fine and over this thing fairly quickly. So to miss a month is very concerning. We'll look to get more news on this in the future, but fingers crossed that he's okay. And man, this roller coaster of Trent Brown in 2020 it's not over yet, guys. We're still going. It's unfortunate. It's annoying. It's nagging. But bottom line, we just got to hope that he's actually okay. So thoughts and prayers go out to Trent Brown. Hope you get better, big man. I can't wait till you're out there on the field, and I'll keep waiting. The Raiders got a good shot at making the playoffs this year, so if we can get a healthy Trent Brown for the playoffs, I'm a happy guy. But the big thing is a healthy Trent Brown, and that's what we got to focus on right now. So thoughts and prayers go out to him. All right, let's jump into the Broncos real quick. This Broncos team is not very good. They're 3-5, third in the AFC West, but arguably I think the Chargers are better than this Broncos team. The Chargers offense is pretty explosive. This Denver team is not very good on offense. And in the past few years, Denver's really held on to a strong defense, and that's been what sets them apart is their defense. And this year they're not very good. They're 22nd out of 32 in points against. And Von Miller's down for the year. So, this Broncos defense isn't what it was. And, with all the promise that Drew Lock showed last year, he hasn't really matched that energy this year. And, with a quarterback who's struggling and a defense that's struggling, it's hard to win games. I think the Raiders are going to go out and roll the Broncos. Drew Lock right now is 2-4 on the season. He's completing only 56% of his passes. His QB rate is sitting at a really bad 73%. So look, going up against a Raiders team whose defense has struggled all year, who knows, maybe he balls out. But I see this as more of a get-right game for this Raiders defense. I expect them to go out and improve on what they did last week. If it's one thing that the Broncos do pretty well, it's run the football. Melvin Gordon is averaging 4.1 yards a carry, and Phillip Lindsay's sitting at 5.8. So those are pretty impressive numbers. If you can get 4 yards a carry, technically that's a first down every 3 carries. Obviously, you don't just run the ball over and over again, but I mean, you guys get it, 4 yards to carry it. That's first down territory, right? So they can run the ball a little bit. Good news for the Raiders, though, is they're a little bit better against the run than they are the pass. Another thing worth mentioning about this Broncos team is they're only getting 37% of their third down conversions. So, get on top of this team early, make them go convert third downs. They're not very good at it. Shut down that run game, and you should be fine. And also, we mentioned earlier Cory Littleton going down on the COVID list. We don't know yet if Cory Littleton has COVID or if he was just in contact with somebody. But with that being said, we do have Raekwon McMillan, who is a better run defender than a pass defender at backer, so we might see an uptick in his play. Also, Kwiatkowski has been really good against the run, so I think this plays into the Raiders' favor a little bit. And like I said earlier, make Drew Lock beat you with his arm, and he's been struggling this year. So in my opinion, things are setting up really nice for this Raiders defense to have a pretty good game, and the offense will go out and do its thing, man. This offense is playing really well. They're 11th in points scored and 14th in yards. They do have a bye week in there already, so those numbers are a little bit skewed with some teams that haven't had their bye week. But for the most part, we know this offense is capable of going out and putting up points. So like I said earlier, I think this plays in really well for the Raiders, and I think they go out and roll this Broncos team. I think the Raiders defense holds the Broncos to 21 points or less, and the Raiders go out and score 30. Should be a fun one to watch. These AFC West games are always important. They're always gritty. They're always fun to watch. But moving forward, man, nothing's going to be more important than the Colts game and the Dolphins game, because those teams are right there in that wild card push. The Raiders are really in control of their destiny this year, and that's awesome to see. So, we got the Broncos this week, we got the Chiefs, and then we got to play a couple guys that are vying for that wild card spot. So those will be really big games going forward. Let me know what your guys' predictions are in the comments. But look, let's all go out Sunday, have a great day. Let's watch this Raiders team go get another W, go up to 6-3, and be in a really good spot. And I'll catch you guys Sunday or Monday with my post-game reaction, depending on where I watch the game and if I'm able to get back to my computer in time. But with that being said, man, as always, peace out. Much love, Raider Nation. Till next time.